Okay, so we just finished finding that f of 2 is 85. Oh, I think I broke up. We just finished finding that f of 2 is 85. The next kind of problem is, if they give us a polynomial, so we have x cubed minus x squared minus 5x minus 3, and one of those factors they tell us is x minus 3, find the remaining factors. What you're going to do, first of all, let me do this a little bit. Come over here. First step, use synthetic division. Okay? And then we're going to use it to divide by the given factor. Okay, once we're done with that, see if the result, the answer polynomial, is easily factorable. If so, factor it. By one of those methods that we did back in 5.5. GCF. Ideally, these are going to be ones, though, that are a trinomial or a grouping, something we can pull out to make it easier to find all of the factors. If it's not apparent, if the factors are not apparent, you might have to guess and check. And I'll show you one of those here in a minute. This one is a little bit easier. So let's just start with our synthetic division. So they give us that x minus 3 is our factor we know. So we're going to start by using 3. That's easy. I have a cube, I have a square, I have 1, and I have a constant. So I don't have no missing factors. So I can just go for it. 1, -1, -5, -3. Okay, so let's check out. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Check out our synthetic division. I will go ahead and continue to separate so that we know if we have a remainder, because here we are trying to make sure that we this would be like a 3a. Let's call this 3a. So true factors have to have 0 in the remainder section. If you get remainder of 0, it's a factor. If you have remainder, sorry, that kind of went off the page. If you have remainder any number other than 0, not a factor, guess again. Okay, so for this one, let's see, I believe this one works out. And we get, do your synthetic division. So we get, bring down my 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus -1 is 2. 3 and 2 multiplied is 6. 6 and -5 leave 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So my remainder is 0. So that tells me that that was a factor, which they told me to begin with, so thank God they were right. Then we have to put in our x. This was a cube and we divided it by a power of 1, so this is x squared, this is my x term, this is my constant, my remainder was 0. My resulting polynomial, I'm going to try and factor it again. So this is, first I'm going to look at it, because it is a trinomial, I'm going to just write it out. So I get, I'm not even going to write 1x squared, I'm going to write x squared, these are all positive, plus 2x plus 1. Is this factorable? Can I turn it into one of these? So I multiply, oh dear, that was messy. Multiply to get Okay, 1 times 1, and I add to get 2. So is there factors of 1 that when I add them together I get 2? Well, of course, x plus 1 and x plus 1. Multiply, we get 1, add 1x and 1x, we get 2x. So the final form here is those remaining factors are x plus 1, and there are 2 of them, so x plus 1 squared. Alright, sliding right along. Same type of problem. We have a polynomial, x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 2x minus 3. All of my terms are there. There's no missing ones I have to put a placeholder in for. And they give me the factor x minus 1. So I'm going to start first with my factor a is 1. Remember, this is x minus r. So we're going to divide by 1 first. Okay, so let me put in my coefficients here. So I've got 1, 2, 2, negative 2, and negative 3. Let me put in my lines. So I'm hoping to do synthetic division, and I'm expecting, I guess I should say, that this will be 0 at the end, because they've told us this is a factor. So we bring down 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 5 is 5. Or, excuse me, 1 times 5 is 5. And 5 minus 2 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And I add these and I get 0, which was what I wanted. So we're good there. I have to look at my remaining polynomial. So this is going to be x. I was x to the 4th divided by 1x. This is x cubed. A little messy there, but I'm going to leave it. Plus 3x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, so we don't really know where to go from here. I mean, I see some 3's here that could be a hint. So maybe that might help us, but maybe not. So you could try and maybe do some regrouping, pull out an x squared here, but if I do that, then I'll get x plus 5 on one and an x squared, which would be 3. Yeah, it won't work if I try by grouping, because I'll end up with a 5 on one term and a 1 on the other when I pull out the 3. So can't do that. So we just have to kind of guess. So let's try a number. What if we try a is 2? Okay, so that's what I'm going to try first. So if I try 2, then I get 2 for my factor. I get 1, 3, 5, and 3. And I'm hoping that when I'm done, put in my little spots here, I'm hoping when I'm done that this right here will be 0, because that tells me I found a factor. Let's see what happens. So I need to bring down my 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 10. Here we get 15. 2 and 15, that multiplies together to get 30. And here I am with 33. Well, that didn't work. And notice that my numbers here keep getting bigger and bigger. So I need to try a negative number to try and get these numbers to offset and become negative. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's try negative 1. We did 1, let's try negative 1. So let's put in negative 1, and put in my coefficients using these same coefficients. So 1, 3, 5, 3. Be really careful. Don't go back to your original ones. We got rid of that factor. So then we're going to do synthetic again. So it's a little bit of a guess and check, which is not always ideal, but you should be able to kind of get a feel for reasoning through them. So let's bring down our 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So here we go. We're not getting bigger like this one did, so that's good. 5 minus 2 is 3. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, which gives me my remainder of 0. So that's good. So what this tells me is one of my factors is x. If I put in minus 1, this was x plus 1. Okay, and then what is left? So I had x cubed and I divided it by one variable x. So this is now x squared and x and my constant. So this is x squared plus 2x plus 3. So we had a factor of x plus 1, a factor of, x minus 1, a factor of x plus 1, and my result here is x squared plus 2x plus 3. So can that be factored? So that's what we have to decide. So it's small numbers, so at least we can do, can it be multiplied to be 3 times 1? Multiply together to get, oh, come on now. Multiply together to get, okay, 3, and add to get 2. So we can only have either positive 1 and 3 or negative 1 and 3. So that cannot happen. So that means that these are our remaining factors. Okay? I've got one more problem, but I think I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to end this video and come back and do the last problem.